So I saw a post on social media a few weeks back where the person was asking if it was normal to still cry 3 years later. And there was a really big response to that. My name is Jana. I'm 68 and I'm estranged from my entire family. It's my birthday tomorrow, and I'll cry if I want to. Not because I'm getting older, but because it hurts. These days, birthdays and holidays don't stop. You think you're okay, then wham, just like that out of the blue, it hits you. So if you've ever sat there alone on your birthday wondering if your child will reach out to you or if it will hurt just as much this year, then this video is for you. I have lots to talk about, so let's get to it. So what about triggers? What is the definition of trigger? The definition of trigger is a moment or a memory when the pain just comes rushing back suddenly. It could be a special date on the calendar, could be a song, it could even be a smell, a photograph. Birthdays and holidays are big triggers for many people. They have the memories of things that are no longer. The cultural expectations, for holidays here in America, the tradition is for families to get together. You have people asking you what your plans are, and it usually centers around family, and you can have feelings of rejection. It's a pain that someone in this situation only truly knows. Do you know what your triggers are? Triggers can be mild or they can be intense. They can be brief or long lasting for hours or even days. They can give anxiety, tears. But if you feel supported or you're busy, those triggers might not be as intense when they happen. Some triggers can be predictable, like when your birthday's coming up. And so with things like that, you can prepare in advance. I don't know what all of my triggers are because they can just happen without warning. I do know a couple. Photographs, like not on my wall, but on social media. If I see photographs of my family, that can be a trigger. If someone starts telling me something that my family is doing, that can be a trigger. Holidays and birthdays are not particularly triggering for me. I think other people have that harder. Christmas is the one holiday that's the worst for me. I think because I was seeing photographs on social media from my family who don't follow me, but they would make their posts public, of everybody in the family sitting around at the table having a good time. And, that's instantly a trigger, like, okay, why am I not there? I'm not expecting that tomorrow, my birthday, be a trigger for me, but I never know. I have never had a birthday party growing up, not that I can recall anyway, and that's okay. It's not a big deal to me. Birthdays are kind of like an extra day. With my youngest daughter, when we were in, I guess you could call it partial estrangement, her happy birthday wishes would be sporadic. Sometimes she would, sometimes she wouldn't. And the times she wouldn't, I feel, were intentional as a form of punishment for some perceived flaw that she had about me. And that just made it feel like a double whammy, because first it's, the being ignored on my birthday, and then the cruelty behind the intentional punishment of not acknowledging you on your special day. And the hurt comes from wondering if you're going to hear from anybody, like you're holding on to hope, while at the same time you're not holding on to hope. You feel like you're in limbo. Will they? Won't they? How can they all celebrate and exclude me? Who does that? And why doesn't anybody else in the family speak up about that? And I addressed that in another video I did called Silence Equals Complicity. If you're interested in that, I will link that right up here. So something that would be good to think about is who is actually in control. Now, on the surface, it seems like our estranged adult children and our estranged family members are the ones in control, because they're the ones who are choosing who gets invited, who gets included, who gets forgotten. Some of them even feel smug, like they enjoy inflicting that pain that gives them power. I believe in my case, my middle daughter specifically, and my youngest brother, and one of my nieces in particular feel a sense of satisfaction. And I'm just assuming this by things that they have said. And the thing is, you cannot control their actions, but you can control how you respond to that. And therein, that lies your power. Control doesn't mean that you're trying to change them. It means you're choosing peace over panic. And it means not chasing them or begging them or letting them define your worth. If you stop replaying the things that they've said to you over and over in your mind, just if you stop doing that, because that drains you and it takes a lot of energy. And if you put that energy into what happens next and how you're going to spend your days, that's your life. That's where you have control. They wrote this story to justify their choices, but you control your truth. And I know I'm like rocking back and forth because I'm standing in this video and I usually sit down. But you know who you are and what you stand for, and that's something they cannot take from you. Real control is not about changing them. It is about refusing to let them change you. This is where boundaries come in. And boundaries for me meant blocking my family on social media. It was blocking for my own mental health. It was preventing some known triggers. Removed my anxiety from wondering what next rude comment or subtle dig will come next. I remember one time my middle daughter, she had unfriended me years ago after she estranged from me. But she made a particular post public, I believe intentionally, so that I would see it, so to inflict pain. And in that post, she was praising this other older woman as being her quote unquote new mom. And I don't think that's the exact words she said, but it was something along the fact that she wished that she was her real mom. And then it went on and on. So for me, blocking on social media prevented little digs like that, prevented me from seeing family photos that she would post publicly. I know that's a dig because all of her other posts were private and I couldn't see them even if I wanted to. But so now tomorrow on my birthday, I'm not going to have to worry about being triggered in that way. I'm not going to have to worry about anybody in my family not wishing me a happy birthday because I have them all blocked. And so I don't have to worry about it. I don't have any expectation. Don't get me wrong. Boundaries does not erase the pain, but it softens it a lot. So what are some other boundaries that one could do? You could block hurtful comments. And I did this once when that same daughter decided to make a public smear campaign post about me on Facebook, where other family members chimed in after she had tagged them all. After reading half of the first sentence, I knew it wasn't going to be anything less than hurtful, so I chose not to read it. Now I realize it takes a lot of willpower, but this happened months and months and months ago, and I never read it. So that's something else you could do. You could just choose not to read them. Same goes with like text messages. I got a really rude one from my youngest brother, and it's still sitting there on my phone, and I haven't read it. And that gives me control, and it gives me power, and it's a self-boundary. What else could you do? You could pre-plan something that you enjoy for your birthday or a holiday. I have a mini road trip planned coming up very soon in a few days for my birthday. We're going to do some fun activities, and that gives me something to look forward to so I don't sit and dwell on anything negative. Another thing you could do is move. Now I know that's like a pretty drastic step, and the reason I bring this up is because I've read a lot of stories from estranged parents who run into their estranged adult children, and they will say hi or how are you, and they just get totally blown off, just totally shunned. And I could not imagine that kind of pain, just walking past your own child and they don't even acknowledge you. That would have to be the worst rejecting feeling ever. I am actually planning to move, and the reason that we are moving is not because I'm estranged from my family. My daughters live between 30 minutes and an hour from me, so I don't really run into them. It's a possibility, but again, that's not the reason for the move. I would say partial reason in that I don't have any incentive to stay here. So how do you handle this? Simply and complexly change your mindset, and I know that is so much easier said than done. A lot of it has to do with your internal self-talk. Repeat to yourself, I am worthy. I am good. I don't deserve this. They can't take away your beautiful memories. And know that your feelings are okay. It's normal to feel sad. It's normal to feel angry. It's normal to cry, especially on triggering days like birthdays and holidays. Pick yourself back up, find joy, and move forward. Did you know that there are families that are searching for surrogate grandparents for their children? I didn't know this, and I came across a group a few months ago, but there's actually a group on Facebook where they match, where you have couples with children of all ages, infants all the way up to teens, looking for surrogate parents and grandparents. And then you have us older estranged adult parents looking for grandchildren to love and to spend time with and to share. You don't have to be blood related to be cherished and loved for who you are. So I will link that group in my description if you're interested in something like that. Another thing you can do is journal. And I find it really helpful to write your feelings, even if you sit there like an elementary school child and write, I am worthy, I am worthy, I'm worthy. Just write it over and over. You want to change that mindset. Force yourself to say it. It's kind of like fake it until you make it. If you need help in brainstorming, something you can internalize, something you can do to find joy and to look forward to, don't hesitate to write to me. My email is here on my channel someplace. If you can't find it, let me know in the comments, but I'll be happy to help you brainstorm. I want to take just a few minutes to talk to you about the things that I have done that have helped me find peace. In addition to the boundaries that I've set, that I've talked about, like blocking me, I refuse to react to disrespect. If somebody in my family disrespects me, I just will not respond. I won't read it like I mentioned. I keep busy with my hobbies and my activities and helping others now through my YouTube channel. And just a little bit of a side note, because it was on my mind today. I feel like I'm overly busy, and I'm somewhat of a perfectionist and tend to give like 500% to everything I do, and I just can't keep up. And I was wondering what your thoughts were about if you have like many things that you give minimal attention to. Is that better? Or is it better to have just a couple things to give a lot of your attention to? And if you do that, if you keep a couple things to give a lot of your attention to, that means then giving up some other things you're passionate about. I just wonder what you all think about that, because I know we're all busy with life and stuff, and sometimes I get overwhelmed and struggle to keep up with things. Something else that really helps me is my spiritual beliefs. I believe everything happens for a reason. I do not believe in coincidences. I believe we are here on earth to learn, sort of like a skill. Not a skill, am I saying? Sort of like earth is a school, a place to learn. I believe For whatever reason, my soul chose me to experience this, even though I don't know why. So I do believe in karma, not necessarily in this lifetime, but maybe our next lifetime. So I was thinking that maybe in a past life, I've excluded other people. So now I have to experience what it feels like to be excluded. Maybe I need to learn compassion. On the flip side, with my family excluding me, maybe in their next lifetime, they'll be the ones to be excluded. The last thing that I would like to talk about in this video is about reclaiming the days that used to hurt. Are our holidays and birthdays a big trigger for you? You can reclaim them. They can take on a whole new meaning. Like I said, mindset. Like I also said, it's easier said than done, but you can do it. You have to put your mind to it, and you might have to think outside of the box. I'm just going to give you 5 examples that I thought about that might get you thinking a little bit. So the first example is, here's the situation. Your son or your daughter or family member is getting married and you are not invited. So what can you do? Reclaim it. Get dressed up, bake a cake, plant a tree, pre-plan something fun to do, and celebrate in your own way. They cannot exclude your spirit. That's called taking control. And I'm reading from my notes here. The second idea I had is, you have a grandchild and you cannot see that grandchild due to the estrangement. So what can you do? Build a keepsake box. Put photos in that box. Letters. A book that you might have read to them. Something handmade. A seashell that you found on a trip. If you ever connect with that grandchild, you'll have something beautiful to show them. That's called taking back your control. It gives proof that you've never stopped caring or thinking about them. It's about building legacy instead of dwelling on reconciliation. The third idea that I had is, if the situation is you just can't stop dwelling on it, well, do something about it. Plan a mini adventure. Go someplace fun, something that you enjoy. Botanical garden, a museum, a new restaurant that you've been wanting to try, a quirky roadside attraction. Find something, brainstorm. It gives you something to look forward to. It puts you in control. The next one on my list that I thought about is that you are sad because you're unable to give your child gifts for holidays and for their birthdays. So what can you do? Give anyway. Give in your child's name or your grandchild's name. Give to a local shelter, a nursing home, a women's center, whatever you'd like. You can even include a note. You could say something like, in the spirit of love. This is one thing I do, is I give to my local homeless right out on the streets fairly frequently. And the last idea I had is, you're sad that you're not there to help. And I know as parents, Even when our children are grown, we always want to help them out. Whether they need it or not, we want to help them out. So what can you do? Pay it forward. I think most of us know what pay it forward means, but it could mean paying for the meal in of the car behind you in the drive-through. You could leave flowers on your neighbor's steps. You can tip extra generously. You can send an anonymous gift to somebody just because. Again, that puts you in control, and it transforms the day outward. It's called love in action, not loss. So the idea with these things is your mindset to put a positive spin on the situation instead of dwelling on the negative. I know birthdays and holidays are especially hard for a lot of us estranged parents. But one thing you have to realize is that it's still love. Love still exists even when it's not returned. Love can mean new traditions and joy one day at a time. And I can't express how much joy this YouTube channel has brought to me. And next Saturday, I have a special video coming about how this space here on YouTube gave me a voice in estrangement where I've never had one before. And somehow it led to my channel being monetized in just 14 weeks. Now, the money is not what matters to me. It's what it represents. It's given me a voice. I've taken something painful and turned it into something good. And in that video next Saturday, I'll be sharing exactly how I did that, along with some tips if a YouTube channel is something you might be interested in. But again, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate every single one of you. I'd love it if you would take the time to like this video, give it a share, subscribe if you like my content, and I'd especially love to hear your thoughts in the comments. So thanks again. Take care of yourselves. Have a great day, a great week, and I will see you in the next one.